With this?
Yeah, but
I thought she dropped it.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she just put it on the table.
You're awful quiet. What's wrong? You're awful quiet. What's wrong?
Nothing. Watch the clock. Get started.
Were you gonna get on a Zoom? Were you gonna get on a Zoom meeting? Yeah. No, today's the city council meeting.
She called me.
Today's Tuesday, we had a holiday yesterday. So, yeah, if you're back to Tuesday. Okay, well, don't worry about it. That's fine. Okay. Well, if you. Okay, and then we'll just put you on. We probably will get started and then we'll just put you on when we see you on here, okay? All right. All right, girl. Okay, Mayor, we're ready. Carol's gonna try to get on for it.
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll move that we. Move the second, consent agenda, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. 602, we're gonna have a special comprehensive plan. In about 30 seconds.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so council had voted to go ahead and put the, all the hard work the planning commission done into our public hearing. And we put it out there, we advertised in the newspaper, we had it available on our webpage, and then we also had hard copies at City Hall if anybody so chose to bring, pick one up. We had nobody come pick any up. And we let them know that if they had any public comments, that they could comment, through email, letters, or come to the meeting tonight too. And I heard nothing from the public at this point. So as of right now, there's no public comment on our comprehensive plan. I'd let you know that Emily, when we first reviewed the comp plan, had found one little error, and we went back that very next day and fixed that. So that was fixed. So unless the public here has any questions. So Mary, it's your choice to go ahead and close the public hearing.
Yes, I'll just gonna say I was gonna close the public hearing on the special presentation of the Toledo comprehensive plan as of right now. Looks like it's about 6:04. And we'll go back to our regular meeting. Chief, would you like to be first, please?
Sure. So we've got a spot for you in the night.
Test 1, 2, this thing even work. Well, it's good to see everybody. What Devin's handing out to you is attached to last month. Any questions on that? Feel free to ask. Other than that, we're ready to go.
Is there any questions for the chief?
Any update on the new vehicles? We got
Heard from them
One was
here late, but yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Oh,
that's good.
I will find out here next week. So,
I have
Sounds
a
good.
question. Are we still are we doing an interlocal agreement with Winlock? Is that still something that we're doing?
as far as what do you mean? Do we
Like
know
what,
now?
I don't know, we talked about it and I don't even remember how long ago, but it was a little while ago and it was something that had been kicked around and we had been kicked out of that agreement, right? Didn't we?
If you mean a contract situation
Yeah.
like we did before, that we're not doing.
Okay, that's what
That's kind of what the way says.
okay, all right, thank you.
Chief, have we got any drone pictures of the city recently or since the snow or anything like that?
I have used the drone for actually doing some search for bad guy stuff, so I appreciate council letting me buy that piece of machinery and a great asset. So far, I've used it that way, so it's been great. Sam may have got some shots of the city and snow, because he was the one working that weekend. So, I can see pictures. Yeah, there's a video online. Oh, is there? So, yeah, drone's been a great tool. I appreciate you letting me get that.
Any other questions for the chief? Thank you, chief. Mike, you're next.
Now, Nick Fisher.
And there goes Chief. Hello, everyone. So obviously we have a little bit of weather going on. Glad to report that all our emergency power equipment came on, worked fine. We have no issues that way, which is a good thing. Basically everything else is going along pretty good. No real issues at all. The plant went perfect through that whole thing. It was off for 2 hours that day, so glad to report that all that went well. And that's about all I got for updates, unless there's any questions.
Any questions? Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Michelle,
Now back to Michelle.
So all I have is that,
you're not on video?
no.
I don't know, here or there.
Yeah, I've been working for the city for lots of years, and at Lewis County, there's a woman named Jill Kangas that has been with emergency management for years too. I think she has over 33 years in with governmental work, and she has been just a godsend in so many ways to and helping me at the city during an emergency, filling out FEMA paperwork and all the other little nuances that go with emergency situation. Today was her last day. She finally retired. She's been trying to retire for, I think, 6 years or 8 years. And the county's like, well, just come on, one more year. So she finally did retire. And so I'm gonna miss her a lot. And, but they have a great staff at emergency management. I just don't know them quite as well as I did know Jill Kangas. So that's gonna be missed. Other than that, the city survived snow so far. Just plugging away. So not a lot to report. I had reported, I think before, that I was going to be gone this week for some personal things that got put off. And so I don't know if it'll be next week or the next week. So there will be probably a week here soon. I will be out of the office, but I'll probably be working remotely.
Is there any questions for Michelle? No questions? Thank you, Michelle. Okay, let's move on. Is there any public comment on agenda items? No public comment, then we'll move on to new business. special events permit application, Toledo Middle School, High School cross country meet. It was in your packet. I hope everybody had a chance to read it. I think they're planning on the #1 route. That's what she explained in her letter to all of us, which would be around the plant and the park and everything like that. And would like the restrooms open at the park. And that will be tomorrow. Tomorrow Sunday. It'll be the 18th, it'll be Thursday. Thursday and March also. Can't find it.
It's March 4th, February 18th and March 4th.
Okay, March 4th. Thank you, Glenda.
Mhm.
And that'll be the same route, same everything, and the restrooms would like to be open at that time also. So,
I just have a question of Mike, if that creates any kind of impact at all with you for them to,
Only if the county trucks are running that day or whatever, because like, look, you know, like an out and down.
Can you take it off the microphone? I'm sorry, if you talk, otherwise we won't pick you up.
and
And there
here's,
is-
here's Mike.
And I'm back. No, the county runs sometimes with their cleaning fixes and all that stuff down there around the old drying bins. So that would be the only thing I would think of. They probably, we would have our gate lock going into the facility part. We could leave the main gate open so they could come down through that way. Other than that, it really wouldn't affect us at the plant at all. I don't see them trying to do anything there. So-
it's my understanding it's that or running on the highway. And so obviously that's by far a far safer thing unless there's something that we don't see that you might see where we create a hazard, but you don't see anything. Is that
Right,
correct?
no, like I say, as long as the county trucks are running, they would have to. That would be safe.
And then, pardon me, it's not COVID on me. Then the second question has to do with, is there any way that we could contact the county so that they will not be there during that pretty limited window of time when 60 kids and they run, they're spread out like a dog's breakfast when they're running. So if there was any way at all that we could notify the county so that they would not be there, then that might be beneficial if we decide to go that route.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can get hold of Kevin and have to let him know what's going on. I'm sure they'll have enough issue with that.
I agree, Mike. Kevin's been real helpful with us. And I think he'll work with us on this one.
Mike, you realize that the route that they're choosing for their option 1 does take them down over and around the treatment plant.
It goes past,
Yeah.
yes. It goes
You
past the
realize
plant, and then
that.
it goes around behind. Everything's all gated and fenced
Mhm.
where they would be going around. And they'll be going around the old grind beds that are out there, the old ponds,
Mhm.
and then coming back through. The only issue that I can see would be in case of a lot of dump trucks running back and forth, but we have our main deal all locked up. So as far as us going in and out, I don't think that.
So yeah, notification to the county, just saying you cannot dump on these 2 days.
Yeah, let them give them a heads up that we're gonna be having this.
And it's pretty limited time frame even at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's after school, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
Then keep them up.
Yeah, from
Keep
noon
them
to
up
5.
on
3 o'clock.
Highway 5.
2 to 5.
So they could run in the or do it in the morning if they have any material to run it. So they start at noon here for the kids. So if they get it done by 11 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think anything they're doing.
Or
so
not
far,
even
they
do
just
it.
take breaks. They know that's what's going on. I mean, we could talk to them and see, but.
Yeah, it's a very short time frame.
Right.
Set up from 12 to 2, course, runners on course 2 to 5. I mean, that should be doable for anybody. So,
well, the county usually quits by that time anyway, don't they, Mike, around 3 o'clock
Oh, yeah,
or so?
yeah, mostly.
So anyway, still wouldn't hurt to give him a heads up.
Yeah.
He's been good with us. We can return the favor.
Oh, yeah, no, I know he'll,
I think I'd feel most comfortable by just asking them not to be there that day,
Yeah.
no matter what, so they don't risk being under
well, you know,
time
how
or
kids are when
overtime.
they're running, they don't. you know,
Exactly.
They're trying to keep up with their buddy in front of them, Sometimes they don't pay attention, but that was my only thing when I looked at the map and everything. And I'm sure we could work that out.
Right.
Sounds good.
So Mayor, with your permission, I'd like to make a motion to approve the special event permit application for the option one to be held on both February 18th and March, what did I just say, 2nd?
Or
4th, March 4th, for the cross-country meets that the high school needs to host.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Any more discussion?
I see they asked about, they were hoping if an officer would be available. Chief is a, oh, great.
What day of the week? You're gonna be there.
It's a Thursday.
Oh, you should get your zipper up in the air for them, yeah.
Okay, is there any more discussion on that? And we'll vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank everybody for participating in that one. Number 2, liquor license renewal, Level Incorporated. Everybody get a peek at that one? It's really short, about 2 cents. I'll entertain a motion for that, please.
I make a motion that we approve the liquor license renewal for the Level
Incorporated.
Incorporated, for the Level Incorporated.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Been moved in second. Any more discussion?
I just would ask my question, has there been any incidents at all regarding liquor problems at that particular establishment during the past year or so? I know that sounds like a broken record, but it's the only way.
It's important.
Doesn't hurt to ask, Ron. Okay, any more discussion on that? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries for that one. Okay, number 3, approve Toledo comprehensive plan to go to the Department of Commerce. Entertain a motion on that one.
I'll make a motion to approve the Toledo comprehensive plan that we were given to go to the Department of Commerce.
And I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Any more discussion on the motion? None? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, Ed Carlson Memorial Field Council position on development. That was a pretty lengthy one, and I read it too. Council, what do you think? Let's hear some discussion.
I don't know if I missed that or what.
Yeah, I don't have that.
I never
I
had
didn't get
anything
enough
on it.
information. Oh, yeah.
So this is just all the information that has been given to you guys from Commissioner Stamper and such over the last,
Mhm.
4 months probably, and the different things that have been in your packet. And then at the last Zoom meeting, Mike Morgan had asked the council to take a position. So it's not saying that you have to, but you were asked to take a position on the council's, thoughts on the park. I know that the mayor has talked in length to Commissioner Stamper about the airport, so I don't know if you want to add anything.
Just, I was looking for more information also, and I was provided very little through Stamper. He just keeps saying it's going to be prolonged for numerous years, but I can't pinpoint him down to how many years that's out. So, but he still kept assuring me that nothing's going to happen for at least 10 years or more. That's the best I could get out of it through the commissioner.
So
You guys want to add to that?
I read, and I don't even remember where I read, but I read that some of the other locations that were being looked at were not added to the list because their city councils had taken an actual position on that. And
Okay.
so I think that's probably why we're being asked to do that, because then it would kind of get removed from the list. However, it's not inside city limits, so it's not like we have any jurisdiction of.
Would there be other cities being asked the same question, like Winlock's position Adna's position. I mean, it's all Lewis County.
Yeah,
So why us? I mean, I understand why us specifically, but, you know, I think personally is different than city represent, like, you know,
Exactly.
we represent our constituents, not just ourselves.
right, or just a few,
So I don't-
or, you know, I mean, we have to, I don't know that we even have enough information to even take a position at this.
I think that that's my concern, Senator. Exactly that, is that I have heard a couple of things. Number one, I heard that we're gonna have Payne Field number 2 or CPAC number 2 here. And then I've also heard that we're gonna try to develop the area around the airport in a way where we can encourage more hangar space, but not expand the runway or that. And so if somebody asked me, am I in favor of economic development in Toledo, my answer would be yes.
Yeah.
If somebody were to ask me if I'm in favor of a regional airport in Toledo, my answer would be no. And so yeah, I guess as a city council, what are we being asked to form an opinion of? And if somebody comes and says, would you consider endorsing or expressing our opinion that we're not interested in something specific, then I certainly would consider that. And to be honest with you, I just told you how I would vote. You know, just because I very, very much do not want a widespread development, because airplanes will go over my house. They'll go over the whole town.
Yeah.
Every house is going to have airplanes going over. So nobody would want to live here. But on the other hand, if we're talking about having a couple hangars there, or where private airplanes can come, there was a meeting last week that a friend of my wife's from Milwaukee came to the airport there. Happened to be the guy whose father was the hero in Hacksaw Ridge, the medic who went in and got the Medal of Honor for rescuing all the people. And he came by and could have a great conversation. Unfortunately, the meeting at the airport went longer. It had to do with the flyers. But from my standpoint, if we had something specific, then I certainly would be willing, but I don't know what we're being asked.
So at the last meeting, also Commissioner Stamper did voice, you know, some thoughts too. And one of your minutes, it states in there that he said that all of the sites were inadequate, and he thought it would be more of an airport that would be built from the ground up. What that means, I'm not sure, but he did state that, but he did put in there that he would, you know, they're trying to get more hangars and things like that out there,
Yeah.
like Ron had said.
Yeah, my personal opinion is that they're trying to get enough people to say we don't want it in our neighborhood so they could justify spending the money in Everett. Because they already got the largest an airport that can handle any jet you want. And they already built the first hangar. They already have commercial jets going there. That's my opinion, but that's only because I think in terms of political motivation or why they start things in the first place. But I agree, it would be impossible to find enough land here to build that type of airport.
Also, one other thing that Commissioner Stamper told me was that if we had the door open a little bit for the Toledo Airport on this issue, it would also give grants a possibility for it to fix up the Toledo Airport, like hangars and stuff like that, to
Yeah.
support that. But if we close this door, and like, you know, like everybody's talking, it's out of our city limits, but it's still the Toledo Airport. Still got our name and everything like that. So I say just leave the door open a little bit. And I'm like Ron, I'm gonna say if it's gonna be CPAC, no. If it's gonna be hangars and more people coming in, I say yes, to help the city out with revenue possibly.
But again, that feeds back to the fact that we don't have enough information to make that call right
That's
now.
true. That's true.
So I'm not comfortable making, just an endorsement one way or the other, or taking a position one way or the other on anything right now, because I just don't feel it's gone far enough yet.
Would you like to table this?
I
I
don't-
think that would be appropriate.
Yeah,
If we table it, we can put it out there ways
Yep.
and come back
Hey,
to
well,
it.
for
yeah.
6 months,
Mhm.
you don't- I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
What do
Just
you,
don't take any action on it.
You just don't take, yeah, she said we don't
Don't
have
have to do
to,
anything.
so. I just don't feel that we should, but that's, again, only an opinion I'm only one person on this council, but
Yeah.
that's my stand is I'm not ready to take a position on it.
I mean, I feel like that, I'm sorry, I don't, were you gonna talk more?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that, none of us want to see airplanes going over our house. Honestly, what they would have to do is build everything from the ground up here. If they were gonna build it here, there's no infrastructure, there's no housing, there's no, nothing. Like, there's nothing. But if we could, funnel that, money towards, more tourism, more airport tourism, I think, we have a beautiful, spot here, right in the mountains and, jumping off place, like this could, it could be have a couple of nice hangars and, some history of Toledo, and it could be a thing, but to cut it off completely and say, no airplanes whatsoever is, it's too black and white for me. I need more gray. So, yeah, I need more information before I can personally.
okay, as far as I can hear from everybody, it's not gonna go anywhere. We'll just forget this one. Michelle,
Yes.
and we'll move on. I don't have any other new business. I can move on to unfinished business. Nothing. Other business, the COVID-19 updates. Michelle?
So the counts are going down. The counts are going down. And, there's lots of vaccinations that are available coming, so just if you want vaccinated, be on the lookout for where that can happen and get signed up if you need to. Glenda could probably state more information, what is going on with vaccination in the elderly community.
So it's my understanding right now, because we ran into an issue that the only place for individuals to actually get signed up was pretty much online for a while in the very beginning. And for the older adult population, especially here in Lewis County, that is like saying 10 people out of 100 might be able to do that, because they just don't have that computer technology to do that. And so then we considered, okay, what if we set up one of our computers and gave people appointment times that they could come in and sit with the volunteer. The volunteer could fill out the information online for them. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but then we discovered when we did the walkthrough that they would email the times and places to people. So it's like, okay, that's not going to work. So I reached out to the health department during one of our last update meetings that we have to do with the commissioners. And I was feeling a little bit frustrated because I feel like our local health department has not utilized Lewis County seniors as an organization. We have our finger on the pulse of the older adults in this county. We're currently serving over 600 individuals right now, and we pushed out over 157,000 meals in 2020. So I'd say we pretty much know what's going on with them, and they have not reached out to me to get my input or to receive information about the older adults. However, they did let me know that they met last week. Twin Transit, United Way, and the health department director met last week to begin a logistics determination, and they did establish an 800 number, a local 800 number that will be manned by a volunteer provided by United Way, so that when our individuals call in, they're actually talking to a human, and they're not sitting on hold for up to an hour at a time before they can talk to somebody, because that was also happening. So hopefully, as it transitions into this 800 number, which I don't unfortunately have a copy of yet, that it will begin being smoother and it will be easier for our individuals. However, there's a concern for those that are still either in their homes, that are sheltering in place, or that were originally homebound to begin with. Homebound meaning that they never leave their homes unless they have assistance. So there is a concern, and they're looking at the potential for just, having somebody be able to go to individuals' homes, but that entails a lot of time. They have to sit with them for a certain amount of time after the shot. Then there's the position of the second shot, I guess there's that. So a lot of these things are still being worked out. I will probably be contacting the health department again tomorrow to figure out what they did in the end determine for the logistics part of that. But that's pretty much all I have right now. And it's an unfortunate thing that I don't have more. But
Yeah, I do know that there was two couples in the Toledo area that took upon themselves to sign up several individuals in the Toledo area, and they were able to get their shots because they didn't have the capability. So that's another thing too, if you know of somebody that is homebound, like Linda mentioned, or just afraid to go out, you need to get that information to somebody like Linda or the health department so that they can get those shots if they so choose.
the unfortunate and scary part is having individuals hear these statements and thinking, oh, well, I'll go help people. And these individuals haven't been vetted by a background check. We don't know if they're trustworthy. These are some private information going out there, or individuals going into someone else's home. It's just it's not a good idea. It needs to be done officially and professionally. But I happen to know a couple of the individuals that Michelle is referring to, and I'm comfortable with that. But that may not always be the case. So we really need to try to get a handle on how this is going out to our seniors. And Governor Inslee's comments, I don't usually talk political, but I was very concerned and dismayed by the comment that when someone pointed out that older adults would have difficulty with the computers, he said, well, that's what grandchildren and next door neighbors are for. So what's disturbing about that is, as a former homebound case manager where I was out in this county, you would be surprised to know how many individuals do not have children, do not have grandchildren, do not have a close neighbor, do not have any friends. They are completely isolated. So it's very disturbing that our leadership has that position.
Well, both of them might have lost their spouse. There could be home alone.
Oh, yeah. And there are a lot of them out there like that. It would amaze you to know how many are estranged from their children or never had children. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. But very disappointed.
Thank you, Glenda. Appreciate it. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, other business. I think we could probably do Emily's letter under this one.
Yes, probably. So, being a citizen of this fine city, unfortunately, I did not have to leave my house, but, in years past, there's been, I don't even know who it was, to be honest, but, we'd have somebody that would just come plow the main streets, and I guess this year it didn't happen. I mean, I walked out to the highway and it didn't get plowed. I don't know, it was like a slog to get out there, really. So I don't even know when it got plowed. Do you know the highway?
You talking about 505?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure when that got plowed.
Yeah.
I wasn't over here though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fortunately, it was like the perfect time to have a snowstorm, being a 4-day weekend, and it was awesome. But for me, because I didn't have to go anywhere, I didn't have to work. I didn't, wasn't responsible for more than just myself. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, you're right. But it has become, more consistent. Like it happened last year, it happened the year before, it happened the year before that. But all those years we've had somebody been able to just go down the main drive and so it's something,
Well, I know if you're talking the main street out here, it is the highway.
It is
and
the
It's
highway.
a state highway, so we would not be able to just go and do anything, I don't
no,
think.
and I wasn't talking about the state highway because I understand that, and I did actually.
coming
call
down into
them
town, you know,
afterwards, "What's
yeah.
going on?" 'Cause I'm curious. Yes, they didn't even know, so it was a mess. So, I mean, and I get it, I'm not complaining, please don't think I'm complaining, it's just,
I know the city doesn't have a plow to do it, so.
right, and what would a
I'm not sure
plow
how we did-
attachment?
I'm not sure how we did in the past.
The generosity of other individuals.
Exactly, yeah. So is that like?
I know that Willie done it one year with our backhoe, but he didn't scoop it up. It was slushy. He just took the bucket and set it on the ground, just kind of pushed it where the water went out and around like that. That's about all he did
So
to
we
help
do
our
have a
streets.
backhoe?
We have a backhoe, but you got to remember the good and the bad of this,
Hmm,
okay? You got 12 inches of snow. If you take that backhoe out there and shove that snow off, now you've got packed snow and ice underneath that, and it's not thawed. So you got a skating rink.
right.
You just made it worse. I know, because I plowed snow for 37 years. Then you gotta get a sand and put sand on it. We don't have that. We don't have a plow, we don't have a sander. So like I said, it's good and bad. The best thing to do is when it turns slushy, is to maybe run the backhoe down there with the bucket up, don't even scoop it, just run it down there, and then it spreads out like this to get off the main streets. But then again, you got this, if you do snow with a snow plow, you're plugging streets, you're plugging people's driveways. And then if it freezes, you got that much, who's gonna dig that out for the elderly? Nobody. You gotta go around town and dig that out unless we get some good Samaritan someplace. But then that's another problem with the snow plow. So I did get a call from Kevin Corpy, asked if we really needed it. I said, just hang on a minute, Kev. I know the temperatures are rising. I know the rains are coming. If I need you, I'll call you. And he's from the county and he was concerned too. He said, we could hire it out. Now, if you guys want to do something that saves some money or to put some money towards snowplow, I think the best way we can do is to hire the county because it's few and far between that we need snowplows. So instead of buying something, it's going to cost a lot of money. Even a 5-yard with sander and all that stuff is going to cost a lot of money. And for as little times as we get the snow this deep for a 4-day weekend and power outage, it was just the worst thing that could happen all the way around for everybody. And I understand that. I know people got to get out and work and do that stuff too. But from experience, sometimes taking the snow off is more of a hazard than not. If you guys got any questions about plowing snow, I can tell you lots of stories.
Well, Mayor, you kind of indicated to me earlier too, with plowing our streets where we have the manholes, that turns
Yes.
into a large issue too, because if a plow were to hit, an edge of that manhole, not only could it be a bad situation with the plow, but also with our sewer system.
Yes.
So.
We do have that issue too. We got manhole covers like Mike and I have looked at many times. Even when we chip seal, we got to cover those manholes covers up. So yeah, you could hit one, plow one, it cause lots of damage to the truck and probably cause some damage to our sewer lines. I don't know. I mean, it's really touch and go for the amount of problems it's going to create when all we got to do is just wait a few days and they'll be gone. That's my opinion.
And then the other thought too I had is even hiring the county, they're so busy because this was such a widespread storm that by the time they actually got to us, it would probably be, pretty much done with and a waste of money. So that's another thing to think about because the snow doesn't last very long, luckily for us.
The roads aren't always passable when we have a real heavy snow because people park their cars where they stop.
Right. I run into that problem too, because I plowed up there at Paradise Estates, the High Valley 5, 6, 7, and 8, and there's like 300 or 400 people up there. And I had one complaint out of all the years I plowed up there, plugging a driveway. All the rest of the people dug their driveways out because we filled them up with snow. I mean, I can't take the snow with me, and I gotta plow it, and it's only gonna plow one way. They do have oscillating plows now, take it left and right. But still, we plugged a lot of driveways up there, and those people were happy. They just got their shovels and got out there and did it. So, you know, that's an issue too. If we do that here, we're gonna have people griping because the driveway's plugged, they can't get out or something like that. I'm trying to avoid all those issues.
I understand what Emily's asking though, as far as being more prepared, and I think, you know, like our city sidewalks, I don't know what we, you know, what we have to maybe run down a sidewalk in front of the post office and city hall, the bank where people have to get into. You know, it would be nice to be thinking ahead in the future for that kind of stuff, something minor. I don't know that we can deal with the roads because of all the reasons that you said. Yeah,
Yeah, the snow blower would be, probably work pretty well. for
You
the
know.
sidewalks. Well, yeah.
There you go again, Mike.
Oh, boy.
you know, to take care of the primary areas, the bank, the post office and city hall. I mean, the other ones can do their own, you know?
Well, right. We can't use the backbone of the sidewalk. Chief and I
Clearly.
this morning, and I want to thank him for helping me for the traffic control that he did. We cleaned out the sidewalk coming down the hill, but it's just not feasible. So we need something that will move snow. We can't do it with shovels. We just don't have boots on the ground to do that. So and that would take forever. But if you guys want, I mean, you know, a snow blower, 2 or 3 foot wide snow blower, you know, you can take a path down sidewalks. And that would probably clear up that issue. At least it would give a path.
Right,
For people to pass. So,
safely.
yeah, safely. Yeah, until it freezes that.
Well, right, but yeah,
Then you can solve it.
the hope would be,
But,
you know,
but no, yeah, you're right. A snow blower would probably, it sounds kind of weird in this country, but that might be something to look at. So,
so at some point, maybe you could get us a cost on that so that we had a goal to start possibly setting aside emergency funds for at some point.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, I don't assume they're that high having as far as what they cost.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you want, I'll bring it back to the council meeting. and take a look.
Just curiosity, we don't have the funding right now.
In reality, because I did spend a few years in this country, they're probably in the same price range as the drone, actually. I mean, they're not really, really high. They're relatively reasonable. You're just talking about a walk behind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably about that same price range, so it's certainly within our reach.
Yeah,
So it's something we want to consider when we have that place where everybody gets that blank look on our faces when Michelle says, is there anything else you want to consider putting in the budget? And,
yeah, when it comes up
That's
again next
probably,
year, yeah,
That's probably the time we need to
yeah,
go ahead and move forward.
Yeah, and it would be easy to store, keep it inside, and keep it nice.
easy to transport, you could throw it on the back of the pickup, right? Yeah,
Give one of us a lesson.
But,
I said, you can give me a lesson.
oh, you bet. We got gloves and
I'm
boots.
glad you changed that from one of us to me.
We'll get you in your own hard hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I just think that our concern should probably be primarily with sidewalks during stuff like this, because there's just not a lot, like, you know,
And if we have
Mayor
something
pointed
like
out.
that, we would take it. We could go down to most all the sidewalks.
Okay,
I appreciate you guys talking about this.
thank you, Mike.
yeah, no problem.
Like,
Emily.
would that work on the sidewalks though, after the state comes through with their plows, and is that piled up stuff that's
They do,
hard?
there's a big auger, that's big too. It'll blast you in the face if you're not careful.
Mike, can bring a price next meeting?
Yeah. you bet.
That's great.
Just curious,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a great idea. Let's think about it today. I'm riding down the sidewalk.
Nobody's on Zoom. I think.
When I was driving down the sidewalk in the backhoe, ready to tip over at the Apple thing, I was thinking, boy, a snow blower would really be nice right by now. That close.
Oh.
Well, thank you again, Mike.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I'll be here all week.
No, it's good.
Okay, I have no other business that I know of. Public input, any public input? Two public people here. Glad to have you here, by the way. No public input, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for coming, everybody. Don't forget to turn your mics on.
In Toledo.